Earlier today, Consumer Reports showed us the best chocolate with which to bake.
Now in our final touch, the most expensive chocolate on the planet. This is a bar of Toac chocolate. It costs $515 for 1.7 ounces. The cocoa beans are harvested from a single origin cocoa tree inspired by French winemakers. The company says their goal is to elevate single origin chocolate to the same level as fine wines and whiskeys. The Toac chocolate bar consists of only 2 ingredients, cocoa and sugar. The beans have to come from a valley in Ecuador's coastal region. The bars are produced in limited editions, just 100 with 6 editions each year.
Yes, please.
That's our time for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, the snow continues to fall across the southern part of the state. We'll have road conditions updates ahead of your evening commute.
From Valentine's Day, snow could affect local businesses on the holiday.
Plus, the state assembly honoring the officers and deputies who were the first responders at the Middleton workplace shooting this past September. We will hear from those heroes.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3 Now. We're under an alert day. The snow continues to fall across southern Wisconsin.
Let's get a live look at the weather now. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield is on the patio. Dave?
Well, Susan and Eric, this snow does not want to stop across southern Wisconsin. We've seen some brief periods of non-snowy weather throughout the day, but most of it has been filled with that white stuff falling from the sky, and already starting to notice the wind pick up a little bit across southern Wisconsin, which could lead to more blowing and drifting snow tonight into early tomorrow morning. So here's what Doppler track looks like right now. Not too many holes in the radar picture, so we still are looking at light to moderate snow falling across much of the area this evening. A live look in Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam. Our parking lot still pretty snowy, and snow continues to fall at the present time. Temperatures are in the mid-20s in Madison, upper 20s in Janesville, at 26 in Boscobel. And wind speeds are starting to pick up out of the northwest at about 8 to 15 miles per hour, but they are gusting closer to 25 to 30, especially across southwestern Wisconsin. As this storm moves out, those strong gusty winds will get a little bit closer to south central Wisconsin. It's making things feel like the teens outside across southern Wisconsin. So your day planner for the next few hours, temperatures staying in the mid-20s and falling a little bit, and we could still see some additional snow accumulations as we head into later this evening. We'll talk more about that, plus what to expect as we head into our next system, potentially Thursday into Friday, in your News 3 Now First Alert forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Dave, thank you. And road conditions remain icy with this weather. Now, if you drove at all today, this is no surprise for you.
No, snowplows have been working for hours getting snow off the roads, sanding and salting for increased traction. But roads are likely still slippery in many areas, and it's 5 o'clock, so the commute is very busy. Our Jamie Perez joins us live with a road condition update. Jamie?
Yeah, well, it's been consistently snowing for the past hour, so as you can tell, road conditions have not improved much since my last live hit. I'm going to do the same thing, though. Ice conditions are still kind of the same on the roads. As I said, it's not really improved that much. Snowplows haven't really been down this way. As you can tell, just a second ago, actually, the mailman was stuck right in that little pile right there. It took about 5 minutes for him to get out. You can see that the snow is still really piled on. It does take about 14 to 16 hours for snowplows to get through everything here in Madison, but yesterday they did salt all of the roads, and the city crews say that all of that salting did help them, the snowplow crews, get through the streets a little bit quicker today. They do put sand and salt down on those roads to increase the amount of traction for you while you're driving, but of course it will still be slippery in some areas. Those snowplows are out and about now as the snow keeps coming down. On top of the roads being slippery, sometimes when those snowplows are pushing through this much snow off to the sides of the roads, it can create those massive snow piles that make it difficult to see around corners. It does take a little bit longer to get those cleared off, but they do make their rounds once they get the streets all cleared up.
We'll go around to these kind of hotspot areas that we know are issues, either in medians or close other intersections and that, where we have to bucket the snow out, put it onto a haul truck, and then take it to one of the dump sites that we have for it.
Now, the city does its best to take care of snow piles that you'll see, but if you do have a snow pile that's in your driveway or on your street that has not been taken care of, that makes it a little bit difficult to see those corner turns, you can actually report those to the city's street division website, and they will try their best to come clear that up for you, considering it's really coming down now. Snowplow crews are still out working hard on the roads. Hopefully that salt will keep any of them from being stuck. So we'll keep an eye on that for you, and we'll have another update for you tonight at 6.
All right, very good. Jamie Perez reporting live. Thanks, Jamie.
Now, despite the snow, many local businesses are preparing for their biggest day of the year, Valentine's Day.
So will all this snow stop people from celebrating? Our Amanda Quintana spoke to business owners about whether this winter weather will affect them. Amanda?
Yes, well, we can all agree this is definitely not the ideal weather conditions to go out, be romantic, get dressed up, but people are going to do it. Business owners are pretty confident. They say that flowers will be delivered on time. They say that their food and their wine will all be ready for you to enjoy. At George's Flowers, they prepare for this week all year, and despite the snow, tomorrow and Thursday, they will be working nonstop. Of course, they weren't thrilled about the storm, but it was late enough that it didn't affect their flowers arriving from other countries, and early enough it hopefully won't affect their deliveries.
We didn't love it, but again, it's Wisconsin, so you just come up to bat with whatever you have to do. We were happy that at least this big snow happened now as opposed to happening in a couple days.
At George's Flowers, tomorrow actually might be busier than Thursday, since many people want their flowers delivered early to enjoy all day. For business owners, including a chef that we will introduce to you at 6 o'clock, they say they have been preparing for this, and after all, they live in Wisconsin, so they have to be ready for this, and they just deal with it.
All right, Amanda Quintana enjoying the elements on our patio. Amanda, thank you. Wisconsin Department of Transportation reminding drivers to slow down when road conditions are poor like they are now. Here is a picture of a State Patrol cruiser rear-ended along the interstate near Oakdale up in Monroe County. No word on if anyone was injured in that crash. Law enforcement reminding drivers, slow down, move over when you see our first responders.
A Madison man will go to trial for a charge of production of child pornography in connection to a missing Tennessee girl who was found in Wisconsin. A judge found probable cause to charge 31-year-old Brian Rogers in federal court today and ruled that he should remain detained until trial. Rogers is accused of persuading a 14-year-old Tennessee girl to record a rape and send the video to him. Court records indicate after he saw the video, he did not report it to police and instead brought the girl to Wisconsin, taking steps to avoid being tracked. The defense argued Rogers only suggested she make a recording for evidence and that came after he suggested other ways to get her out.
A 26-year-old man from Windsor has been charged after being accused of stabbing his roommate. According to a criminal complaint, 26-year-old Evan Shalanga is charged with 4 counts, including first-degree reckless injury. The complaint says Shalanga stabbed the victim in the stomach with a 13-inch butcher knife on Saturday night. This was in the village of Windsor. Deputies say they could smell intoxicants on him. Doctors say the victim suffered 2 separate injuries. One was life-threatening. Court records show cash bond set at $50,000 for Shalanga.
A GOP tax cut bill for middle-income families heads to the state Senate tomorrow after clearing the full assembly within the last hour. The plan calls for a $340 million annual tax cut for middle-income families. It would be funded through a one-time budget surplus. Governor Evers has indicated he won't sign it and introduced a competing tax cut bill. He's proposing paying for half of it by capping a corporate tax credit, something Republican leaders refuse to do.
We're here to talk about a tax cut on the for the middle class. Actually, the Democrat proposal is a tax increase on farmers and manufacturers in our state.
Until I see what they're actually going to pass and if they're going to pass anything, I'm kind of reluctant to say that we're abandoning ours. Of course, we always look for common ground.
Governor Evers says he can't support the Republican bill because it's unfunded in the future, and he wants to use the budget surplus for other purposes. But Republican leaders say they won't support the governor's plan because it requires raising taxes.
4 law enforcement officers from Middleton and Dane County are being hailed heroes tonight.
They responded to a shooting at a software company last year, killing the gunman. Our Rose Schmidt is live at the state capitol to explain how state lawmakers are celebrating them. Rose?
That's right. Leaders of the state assembly say there is nothing more admirable than giving back to your community. And that's exactly what they say 2 Dane County deputies and 2 Middleton police officers did back in September.
These men jumped into action and approached an active shooter.
To say that September 19th, 2018 was a trying day for first responders would be an understatement, as they confronted a shooter at WTS Paradigm in Middleton.
The employees at Paradigm were ready and prepared, and they took matters into their own hands and did what they had to do to survive even before we got there.
It was a situation these 4 men trained for time and time again, but training they hoped they'd never have to use.
We're from different agencies here, but yet our training is all based on the same standard. So we were able to actually come together and then get the best outcome for that situation.
Because of that outcome and their bravery in the face of it, the 4 officers earned recognition Tuesday in front of their families and the entire state assembly, earning a standing ovation and a nomination from Representative Diane Hesselbein as hometown heroes.
And the way they responded is just remarkable, and they really are the hometown heroes, not just for Middleton or Dane County, but for the entire state of Wisconsin.
It's an honor awarded to people who make a difference in their communities.
I know the 3 men who stand beside me today accepting this award are heroes. Without hesitation, they put their lives on the line to save others.
But the officers say gratitude of this nature is difficult for them to accept.
We keep saying it wasn't just the 4 of us. There's numerous law enforcement officers and agencies there.
They thank their superiors, the Middleton chief and Dane County sheriff, and they know their work is far from over.
That healing process continues, and their heartfelt support and commitment to our needs has been absolutely invaluable.
If you know anyone who you think should be nominated as a hometown hero, you are asked to contact your state representative, and then the process will begin from there. Those heroes are invited to an assembly floor session, and they are invited to speak as well.
Rose Schmidt live at the Capitol. Rose, thank you.
More public transportation, pedestrian crossings, and bike paths are all things millennials say every Wisconsin city should have. A state nonprofit surveyed more than 600 college students on 24 campuses around the state and found that those young people are more likely to prefer transportation that doesn't rely on a vehicle. Those resources could also influence their decision on where to work and live after graduation. The organization released its full report on the issue, highlighting Madison's commitment to walking, biking, and public transit systems.
Young people are seeking out vibrant communities that are connected by high-quality walking, biking, and public transportation systems. And in order to attract and retain young people that Wisconsin needs to thrive and to create communities that are better for everyone, we need to dramatically increase our investments in good non-driving options.
And that report says Madison, La Crosse, and Eau Claire are communities that are offering non-driving options such as bike networks, walkable downtowns, and public transportation. And those cities are attracting young people at higher rates than the rest of the cities in Wisconsin.
Barron's Chris Cruzy, the runner-up on NBC's The Voice, is releasing his first album since his run on the TV show. His new self-titled album will be released on February 22nd. It will feature 8 songs, including new originals and some of his most requested covers. His pre-orders will get a signed copy and a free digital download. The album is available for pre-order now for $15, and we have a link on our website, channel3000.com.
More to come on News 3 Now at 5 up next. The jurors wrap up 6 days of deliberations in the trial of El Chapo. Will have the verdict of the notorious drug lord.
Plus, President Trump says he's not happy with a new congressional border security deal. We'll tell you what that deal includes.
And on Wall Street, the Dow with a major jump today, up 373 points. The Nasdaq adds 107. The S&P climbs 35. We'll be right back. On day 6 of deliberations, a federal jury reached a verdict in the trial of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman.
A federal jury in Brooklyn found El Chapo guilty of multiple drug smuggling and money laundering charges dating back to the 1980s. Prosecutors allege Guzman was the mastermind behind the Sinaloa drug cartel, a multi-billion-dollar drug gang that trafficked cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, and marijuana into the U.S. During the 3-month trial, more than 50 witnesses testified against the accused drug kingpin, including 13 former associates who claimed the 61-year-old used violence and bribes to protect his drug pipeline. Guzman's attorneys only called a single witness to the stand. They maintain their client was framed by the real leader of the Sinaloa cartel, who remains at large.
President Trump says he's not happy about an immigration deal reached by a bipartisan group of lawmakers. Congressional sources say the deal includes nearly $1.4 billion for physical barriers, including 55 miles of border fencing, but no wall. The president has been asking for $5.7 billion. The president said he's still deciding whether to declare a national emergency to go around Congress to get his wall funding. But many members of the president's own party say they will oppose a national emergency declaration, and they do not want to see another government shutdown.
Not everything the president hoped to get, but I think it's a good step in the right direction. I hope he'll decide to sign it.
Please, Mr. President, no one got everything they wanted in this bill, but sign it and don't cause a shutdown.
Now, first, Congress will need to pass new border security deal by the Friday night deadline. A pair of major winter storms blasting millions of Americans. Seattle in the middle of one of its snowiest Februaries in more than 70 years. In the Midwest, heavy snow and ice causing some major problems on roads. Interstate highways littered with overturned cars, ice-coated yards, street signs, and branches in northern Indiana brought down power lines in South Bend. Air travelers are also facing a rough day. More than 2,000 flights have already been canceled, thousands more delayed.
So we are not alone. Let's get over to Dave Caulfield with a check on the forecast. How much snow did we get, Dave?
Well, about 7 to 9 inches in Madison so far, Susan, and still we have some more snow falling across portions of southern Wisconsin. Big winners so far, closer to Columbia County, Lodi, and northwest of Portage. About a foot of snow falling today. Southeast of Cross Plains picking up 9 inches, and these amounts are through this afternoon, so we still could add another inch or two, maybe even more in some spots to these numbers. Madison on campus, on the UW campus, as of noon, had about 7.5 inches of snow, and in the backyard patio, I measured about 8.5 just a few minutes ago. Watertown about 6.2, and Milton coming in with 6 inches of snow. And here is why we've had this low pressure system with us since late last night, making roads hazardous, causing some problems on the roadways, and also just trying to shovel out all this snow. We still have that low kind of circulating over southern Wisconsin, so it's bringing some residual snow showers still to the area. As we zoom in, we could see still some light to moderate snow showing up, especially north of Madison right now, from Lone Rock to about Watertown. We'll still expect some intermittent snow shower activity throughout the evening hours, and I think everything will wrap up right around midnight or to 2 a.m. That's when we'll really start to see that snow shower activity subside. We do have an alert day, though, in the forecast still for tonight. As I mentioned, another inch to 2 inches of additional accumulation not out of the question, but we're really watching the threat of blowing and drifting snow. As this low pressure system moves out of here, that's going to cause the winds to pick up tonight, and sustained winds of 15 to 30 miles per hour, could be gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. And even though this snow has more water content compared to snows in the past that we've gotten over the past few weeks, it's still going to cause some blowing and drifting, especially on rural roadways. Winter storm warning in effect until 3 a.m. for much of southern Wisconsin. For the southeastern tip, we have that winter weather advisory that goes until the same time early tomorrow morning. Here's what it looks like on the Edgewater Sky Cam overlooking Madison. We still do have some light to moderate snow falling right now. Today, temperatures were actually pretty close to where they should be for highs, but we stayed pretty consistent in the mid to upper 20s, and 25 is where we find ourselves right now in Madison, 28 in Janesville, and 27 in Mineral Point. Look at those winds, especially across southwestern Wisconsin, folks. You could see them increasing hour by hour at about 15 in Boscobel, about 25 in Mineral Point, but they'll be gusting to about 30 to 35 miles per hour, so it could be a bit hazardous on the roadways this evening, even though the snow may not be all that heavy. Wind chills, it feels like the mid-teens across southern Wisconsin. So as we head into tonight, the snow ending, but blowing and drifting snow will not be ending. That will come with us into tomorrow morning. Temperatures will be in the teens. Then as we head into tomorrow, this is really the banner day of the forecast, folks. I'm very excited because we don't have to worry about any snow. Temperatures will be close to normal, and we'll see partly sunny skies, especially during the afternoon. So on Future Track, we're noticing the snow showers still possible as we head into the early overnight hours, and then blowing and drifting snow a concern overnight as well. We clear out a little bit by the time we get to Wednesday afternoon, but the clouds are back for Thursday, and then Thursday night into Friday morning is our next chance of seeing a little bit of snow shower activity. The good news I have to report is that system doesn't look to be anything close to what we experienced today, so maybe just some snow showers and flurries, some patchy freezing drizzle on Thursday night into Friday. But check out these winds, folks, gusting to about 30 to 40 miles per hour, so that's going to blow the snow that has already fallen all around, and we could see some drifting into tomorrow morning. Your 7 to 10 day forecast, we're noticing quieter weather on the way for the weekend with temperatures near 20, and then another chance of some accumulating snow as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Now let's take a look at your first alert traffic update. Live look at the interstate I-90-94 at County PP. We're noticing that camera kind of blow back and forth a little bit as winds increase, and also still some slick spots on the roadways, and no major accidents or incidents popping up right now across Dane County, but still we're noticing these slow spots on the Beltline, as you might expect. Here are your drive times. University Ave to Verona Road eastbound 10 minutes, average speed of around 45 miles per hour, and some other routes westbound the Interstate to University Ave, that's looking pretty good, 17 minutes with an average speed of around 50 miles per hour. And that is your first alert traffic update.
All right, Dave, thank you.
Ahead on News 3 now at 5, tobacco use with teens continues to rise. What experts are blaming for that uptick. Stay with us. Teen tobacco use has skyrocketed over the last year, creating the single biggest jump since 1999.
Experts are blaming the vaping fad for the extreme rise. Meredith Wood has more on this alarming trend in today's Health Minute.
E-cigarettes have become so popular, any progress in combating teen tobacco use over the past few years has been erased. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the number of teen tobacco users increased by 1.3 million from 2017 to 2018. The report points out a big contributor to that rise is e-cigarette giant Juul. Its products dominate more than 70% of the market. The company has come under fire recently for ad campaigns critics say are geared towards teens. In a statement Monday, Juul said they stopped selling flavored Juul pods in retail stores and are, quote, committed to fighting underage use of vaping products. 20% of high school students, about 5% of middle school students surveyed, say they vaped at least once in the last month. Also increasing was the overall frequency of teen tobacco use. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
Well, stay with us. We'll get you the latest on the forecast and another check of the weather when we return.
Here's a look at some of the stories we are working on tonight. We are at the federal courthouse in Manhattan following the El Chapo guilty verdict. More on where he'll serve following so many escapes. Inside the mission to find a long-lost aircraft carrier and our conversation with a Gold Star family about one man's remarkable legacy. It's all tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And the winter weather isn't over yet.
Yeah, the snow just keeps on falling, does not want to stop across much of southern Wisconsin, so we'll still see some intermittent snow shower activity this evening. Also some blowing and drifting snow possible. Check out the wind gusts right now, already up over 25 miles per hour in Madison, closer to 40 across northeastern Iowa. So that weather heads here as we head into the evening hours, and temperatures will be in the 20s tomorrow. Much better weather on Wednesday.
All right, we'll have more updates in 30 minutes. Stay tuned for the CBS Evening News.